The thing that we worry the most about is if people get multiple infections at once.
You likely know some people who are sick right now, maybe with COVID, maybe with something else.
The Valley doctors are seeing an increase in all sorts of viruses and infections that aren't COVID. So what do you know, or how do you know what you are sick with? So many families dealing with this right now. Brianna Whitney is in our newsroom with some answers from the experts. Brianna.
Well, Jared, what's even more confusing is so many symptoms of COVID, the flu, and other illnesses are all so similar. There's people who are definitely sick, but testing negative for both COVID and the flu. So what's going around? Doctors say it's a variety of things.
Even with Omicron infections on the rise,
the majority of people we test for COVID don't end up having COVID.
Natasha Bouillon is a family physician in Phoenix and says while there are some people testing positive for either COVID or the flu, many people who are sick are testing negative for both. So what else is going around?
If you have rhinovirus, adenovirus, a bacterial infection like strep pneumo, none of that will come up on a flu test. None of that will come up on a COVID test.
Dr. Bouillon says she's seeing so many different respiratory viruses and bacterial infections, even just common colds and stomach bugs. Many illnesses we didn't see much last year with less people gathering.
Because of that, we don't really have a lot of antibodies against any of this. So I actually anticipate the month of January, it might be pretty bleak for the healthcare system and for the public, because we'll probably see more cases of the flu, more colds, and we're going to see more cases of COVID.
But internal medicine doctor Zuhdi Jasser says there's some good news in this.
I don't think this is any different than any other season. The difference, though, is a lot more of them are seeking care for appropriate and understandable reasons.
He says, like Dr. Bouillon, he is seeing COVID positives, but more so other sicknesses.
I'm seeing a lot larger spike in patients just being seen or admitted to the hospital for what apparently are viral pneumonias that are not COVID.
While on the surface that seems concerning, Dr. Jasser says these other viruses and infections actually gives him hope that we're on the horizon of normalcy, combined with increased immunity to COVID as more people get the vaccine or get Omicron.
My gut tells me that truly the fact that we're seeing other viruses now, which is last year we didn't see that, tells me that we're getting back to normal. So we're getting a normal seasonal change.
Nice to have a little good news there. Now, both doctors stress even if you do test negative for COVID and the flu but are still sick, still avoid being around other people who could catch it from you and make sure to rest and hydrate. They anticipate February to be much better than January, just like a normal winter flu season.
That is interesting what Dr. Jasser had to say there, Brianna. So let's say you do get one of these other illnesses. By chance, would that help build your immune system to help protect you against something like COVID?
Yeah, I wish that was the case, but Dr. Bouillon says actually the opposite. She said they worry most that if you do get a cold or a sinus infection or even pneumonia, your immune system is already weakened, so that could actually cause you not only to be more susceptible to COVID, but to get a more severe case of it. Of course, she stresses getting the COVID vaccine and the booster shot will help with that.
Wishful thinking on my part. Brianna Whitney live in our newsroom tonight. Brianna, thanks.